Welcome back to ELS Gaming, and today we have a rebuild, but it's not just any rebuild. I am taking over as manager of Juventus for this rebuild, but the twist is that at the start of every single season, I have to release my very best player. And I must do that every single season until I win Juventus the Champions League final. I think this is going to be a fun challenge, and if you want to see other stuff like this, make sure to like and subscribe down below. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. And here it is, the starting default squad for Juventus here in Season 1. It is a 3-4-2-1 formation. Doesn't really look that good. I don't know why Kalulu is out at right mid, but I think he's been playing there in real life. But before we make any changes, let's get rid of our highest rated player. And for Season 1, we are going to be releasing Bremer. As you can see, 12.8 million off the books. He is no longer on Juventus. I'm going to set this rule now. If there is a tie between the highest overall players, then I will get to choose which one of those players gets released that season. Having a look back at the team, I've moved Kalulu back to the back line, and I've swapped our right mid for Zagrova. And I think I'm also going to put Cabal at center back because I think he goes up in rating and he is slightly younger than Kelly. So I think for now, let's do that. Also at striker, we have plenty of options. We have Vlahovic, we have Jonathan David, and we also have Openda on loan, which is really a toss-up for me because they are all 25 years old. And obviously, Openda is on loan, so I don't really think I want him to get game time because he's just going to leave. So it's between Jonathan David and Vlahovic, and I'm not really sure who to choose from. And having a look at the budget, we have 146 million to work with. That's actually way more than I thought it was. And so our general strategy is going to be 1 step backward and 2 steps forward. That basically means that when we release our best player, I want to sign multiple players that are young and can develop so that we build a lot of depth. So when the beginning of the season rolls around, when we lose our highest overall player, we'll have plenty of replacements right behind him to fill that gap. Basically, I just need to build out the team really well with a lot of youth and a lot of depth. And coming back to this team, there are definitely some areas I want to work on. The first being the back line. Kalulu and Gatti being our best center backs, and Cabal as well. We are very short-staffed when it comes to center backs. I want to sign at least 2 center backs. As well as in the midfield, we have Thuram and Locatelli, and behind him is Weston McKennie, so nobody really that young, and Locatelli is most likely going to be leaving next season, so I want to get a replacement for him early. And then I'm also thinking about signing a cam because I just know that Yildiz and Contral are going to turn into stars and are most likely going to leave the club, especially Yildiz. So we're going to need some young replacements for when they eventually end up leaving. And I have the very first signing of the window. It is going to be a new center back. Only 21 years old. It is a Portuguese center back. We're signing from Benfica. Antonio Silva, we signed him for 35 million. And next we actually have a departure. It's the only guy that I really wanted to get off the books. We have so many strikers at the club. There's just no need for him. Milik is going to be leaving Juventus and headed to Villarreal for 18 million. And we have our second acquisition into the club. It is going to be a very young center midfielder. We are picking up the Danishman Victor Froholt from Porto. He's going to be a great player to develop for the future. We signed him for 25.4 million. And next up, we have another center back joining the club. It is going to be the Ukrainian center back, Elia Zabarny. We're picking him up from PSG, and we actually got him on a pretty good deal. He should be a good rotational center back and someone that can actually maybe turn into our best center back on the team. We signed him for 38 million. What a steal. And after that, we have a brand new center attacking mid. He is very young and pretty low overall, but he is going to be a good player for the future when we inevitably lose one of our attacking midfielders. We are going to be signing the Dutchman Kez Smit, and I'm thinking about loaning him out for the time being as he's not really needed at such low overall. but we signed him from AZ for 13.5 million. And looking at a bit of a squad update, we filled out our center backs. We have a backup center mid, and we have a young cam that could replace some of these guys in the future. I think we've done a great job this opening window. We still have 36 million in the bank, but there's not really any more business that I want to do. Maybe an outside midfielder, but I think I want to hold onto this money for right now. I think the only other thing I'm going to do is loan out Kes Smith, because as you can see, he's only 74 overall, but he's super young. He has super high potential, so I'm going to add him to the loan list, and hopefully he goes out for this season. And we did end up getting a loan deal for Kes Smith. He's headed to RB Leipzig for 2 seasons. And we do actually have another loan out of the club. Adzik is also out for 12 months. And we've made it to deadline day and no more business has occurred, so I'm just going to skip right on through to the end of deadline day. And this is what the team looks like after deadline day. We brought in our young players, we did what I wanted to do. Hopefully we can get some good growth this season. Let's see how we're doing come January 1st. And at January 1st, we are sitting in 5th place. Not too bad. We're only on 34 points. Atalanta is at the top of the table, currently undefeated on the season. They're doing great. We're still hanging in there. We're not doing bad. I think our goal for this season is top 4. We want Champions League for next year, but it is going to be a very tight table as Italy is very competitive, but I'm hoping that we can push into top 4. That is the goal. Hopefully we can do that. In terms of business, we do have 43 million to work with, but I really don't know what to use that on, and it is enough to bring in a decent player, so I might want to spend it while I have the money. As of right now, we have a tie between our highest rated player in Locatelli and Di Gregorio, who's gone up 3 ratings since the start of the season, and currently, if the pace continues, he would probably outpace Locatelli on our highest rated player, and we just don't have a backup goalie good enough. We have Perrin, who's 32. He's just not going to cut it. So I'm thinking about bringing in a backup goalkeeper just in case Di Gregorio goes up to an 85 and it becomes our highest overall player. That might be a smart move. And we have ended up signing another goalkeeper to the roster. We're signing this guy from Bundesliga club Freiburg. It is German goalkeeper Noah Atubalu. 79 overall. We signed him for 28 million. And we've made it to deadline day. Noah Atubalu was our only business in January. So we're just going to skip right over deadline day and get to the second half of the season. But before we do that, the league phase of the UCL has come to a conclusion, and we finished in 5th place, meaning we are automatically into the round of 16. That's a very good result, especially since our team is very low overall at the moment, but that's a good result. And the next thing you're probably going to see is that round of 16 matchup. And here we are for the round of 16. We are up against Bayern Munich. Definitely a tough opponent. I'm not sure if we're going to come out of this one, but really hoping we do. I think I'm going to keep the team like this. Actually, I'm going to play Openda up top because he is an 84. And in the first leg, it is going to be a 2-1 victory over Bayern. That is a great start for the round of 16. And we have made it to the second leg of the round of 16. All we need is a draw and we are through. And in the second leg, it is going to be... we're going through on penalties. It took me a second to realize we lost 2-1 in normal time, but a 5-3 victory on penalties. That is amazing. We have just knocked out a very tough opponent. We're into the quarterfinals. Very nice. And in the quarterfinals, we are up against fellow Italian side Inter Milan. And in the first leg, it is going to be a 3-2 victory. Very nice. What a start. Cambiaso, Contral, and Jonathan David getting on the score sheet. A great start to the quarterfinals. And we've made it to the second leg of the quarterfinals. Once again, a draw or better. We are through to the semis. And it is going to be a 1-1 draw, meaning we are through to the semifinals in Season 1. This is way better than I thought we would do. Here we are for the semifinals, and we are up against probably our toughest opponent yet, Real Madrid. This is going to be quite the battle. And here we go in the first leg. It is going to be a 2-1 defeat, getting one back in almost the last minute. And we find ourselves down for the first time in the Champions League knockout round. Second leg here in the semifinals against Real Madrid. We need a win to stay alive and go to the finals for season 1. In the second leg, it is going to be a 2-1 loss. I wasn't expecting to go through, but we made it a lot further than I thought we would. We end up losing 4-2 on aggregate to Real Madrid, eliminating us from the Champions League. So we have fast forwarded to the end of the season and having a look at the results in the Serie. Why are we looking at the Prem? Hello? All right. In the Serie, we ended up winning 81 points. A very tight battle at the top. Napoli had 80, AC Milan had 80, and Inter Milan had 79. The top 4 were separated by only 2 points. But we ended up coming out on top. We are champions of Serie A, and that means we get Champions League for next season as well, which was the goal. I was not expecting to win the Serie A this season, but we absolutely take that. At the bottom of the table, Lecce, Cremonese, and Hellas Verona are all going down to Serie B. In the Coppa Italia, we made it all the way to the final, but ended up losing to Lazio 3-2. And in the Champions League, obviously, we were eliminated in the semifinals, but Liverpool would go on to beat Real Madrid in the final of the UCL. And having a quick look at the stats, it was our center attacking mids who did most of the goal work. Francesco Conceição was our leading goal scorer on 23 goals and 8 assists, but Yildiz had 21 goals and 19 assists, putting him to 40 goals/assists on the season. That is incredible from him. Jonathan David was our highest performing striker, but we were split between 3 very solid options, so he's obviously not going to score as many. Cambiasso had a good campaign, even though he's more of a defender. And even our third cam on the roster, Culp Miners, had 8 goals and 13 assists from off the bench. That is very solid all round. So a very successful season 1. I think we built out the base. We did very good in all of our competitions, winning the Serie A. But let's get into season 2, where we find out who we're going to have to release. All right, here we are at the start of season 2. And before we do anything, talk about the team, go over some stuff. Alright, so my OBS just crashed on me, and I don't think I got me releasing Locatelli, but as you can see, he's already been picked up by Inter. I had to go a couple weeks to show the team properly, but Locatelli got released from the squad, and this is what it now looks like for Season 2. I went ahead about 2 weeks because everyone was on international duty, and I wanted them to be seen in all of their glory. And in that time, Thuram went up to an 85, which I think is kind of ironic, but it's fine. This is what the team looks like for Season 2. Froholt is going to step in as that other center mid next to Thuram. He's 20 years old, and he went up to an 81 last season. That is very good development. A couple of other things that happened. Kostic, the left mid, his contract expired, and he was super old. I didn't want to bring him back, and he was regressing a lot, so he's out of the club. And we had a couple of loans come back, like Douglas Luiz, as well as someone, the American Timothy Weah is also back, and also Gonzalez from Atletico Madrid, I believe. So a lot of those guys could be used as depth, or I could sell them to try and get younger players, but this is the starting team for Season 2 with the releasing Locatelli, our highest overall player. And the budget for the season is going to be 88 million. Very solid, not as much as last year, but still a very solid amount. So looking back at the team, I already know that next season, most likely I'm going to lose an attacking midfielder because they're already both 84 overall and they're super young. So they're going to grow probably faster than Zabarni or Thuram. And also, we're going to look at this right mid position. Currently, Zagrova is starting, and we also have João Mario. João Mario is 26, and Zagrova is 27. None of them are really young enough to really grow and develop, so I want to get a younger right mid in as well. And I think I'm just going to start Silva because Gatti is 28 years old, and that's a big difference. So he's going to go into the starting 11. I am also thinking about getting another striker. Openda, his loan expired, so we are left with Jonathan David as well as Vlahovic. Both of them are 26 years old. Jonathan David is an 84, which is okay, but is that Champions League winning quality? I don't know. So I might want to buy a super young one, send him out on loan for a couple seasons, see what happens, and go from there. So that is also on the cards. But before I make any business, I've decided to recall Kes Smith from loan just because I think I can develop him more playing him in league matches and other random competitions to try and get his value up even higher than he would out on loan. So first, we're bringing him back to the club. And we have our first piece of business for the window. It is going to be a departure. Our left mid Argentinian Nico Gonzalez is going to be leaving the club. He's off to Roma for 27 million. And that is followed by another departure. It is on the other side, our right mid Zagrova. He is also going to be leaving the club. He left to Aston Villa for 38 million. And we have our very first signing for Season 2. It is going to be a right mid replacement. We are going to be signing Brighton's Yankuba Minta. He's going to join us as our brand new right midfielder. And we got him from Brighton for 57.5 million. And we have our second addition into the team, this time for the left-hand side. We are going to be signing the Spanishman Jesus Rodriguez from fellow Serie side Como. He is like 5 overalls worse than our starter Cambiaso, but he's 20 years old, making him 6 years younger, so I think a bright future ahead for him. We signed him from Como for 40 million. Alright, a little bit of a squad update. We brought in some brand new outside midfielders, completing my main goals for this window. I'm not really sure what else I really want to do with this team, because in the budget we have 45 million to work with, meaning we could bring in some more talent, maybe some younger guys that we can send out on loan, but I'm not really sure what to do with this, but there definitely has to be a way for me to use it. And we are first using that money on a very young striker that could potentially be our striker of the future. We are signing the Greece striker from Brighton. Charalampos Kostalas is joining us for 13 million. And with the remaining money we had in the budget, we're going after a rotational center back that could blossom into something. We are signing a French center back from AS Monaco. 77 overall, Christian Marwissa is going to be joining us. We signed him from Monaco for 23.4 million. So we are officially out of money. So this is what the team looks like. It's pretty much set as stone what it is. I really like how we're building out this depth. I think Kostalas might go out on loan, but I might play him in cup matches and other random matches throughout the season. So I'm not sure, but he might get loaned out. But overall, this is what the team looks like. I really like our depth, and it's looking pretty solid. And I did end up deciding to loan him out. Kostalas is going to be leaving the club on a loan deal. He's headed to Como for the next 2 years. So with that, we have made it to deadline day, and I'm just going to skip right on through to the end. So this is the official team we are going into Season 2 with. Let's see how we do come January 1st. And we have made it to the start of January, and it looks like we are sitting in 4th place in the Serie A. Atalanta is absolutely crushing it. They haven't lost a game all season. 15 wins, 2 losses. They're doing really good. We're sitting in 4th, not too bad. Our goal is obviously another top 4 finish for Champions League football next season. So we are on pace to do that, but we're going to need to pick it up a little bit over the second half of the season. And just a little update on the team. We have 3 players at an 86 overall, currently Di Gregorio and both of the cams. So most likely we are going to lose one of the cams, but I would like it to kind of be Di Gregorio because we do have Atabolu on the bench who is an 82, which is pretty solid, so I would like that a lot more. But we're all going to have to see when it comes to the end of the season. The team is doing well, And a quick look at the Champions League. We have 2 games left. We are sitting in 11th place. We could jump up into top 8 and get an automatic into the round of 16, but most likely we're going to have to go through playoffs. But we still got 2 games, but that should be decided by the end of the January transfer window. And for that window, we only have 11 million to work with, so there's probably not going to be any business, and we're probably just going to go straight to the end of it right now. But we do actually have a piece of business. Timothy Weah has not been getting that much game time as he is the 3rd string right mid, so he was pretty unhappy, so I might as well sell him now while I still have the chance. So he's going to be leaving the club. He's headed to Chelsea for 23.7 million. But now we have made it to the end of deadline day, and we can check what we finished in the Champions League phase. We ended up finishing in 10th place, meaning we have to go through playoffs. We were so close to just going straight into the round of 16, but 10th is not bad. We'll definitely take that. But no more business for the January window, so we are going to jump straight through the rest of deadline day. And we're going to find ourselves next at that UCL playoff game. And here we are at that playoff round. It looks like we are up against Red Bull Salzburg. We're sending out the full starting 11, and in the round of 16, it is a 2-2 draw. We should be destroying Salzburg. That's not a good start. And here we are for the second leg against Red Bull Salzburg. A win, and we are through to the round of 16. It is going to be a 2-1 victory. We are sent through. Thuram in the 87th minute, just sealing the deal for us. We dominated them 8 shots to 3. We should have gone through way more comfortably than we actually did. And here we are at the round of 16. We are up against Galatasaray. We got our full 11. We're going straight into it. In the first leg, it is another draw, a 1-1 draw this time. And here we are for the second leg against Galatasaray. Once again, we are win and in. It looks like Zabarni has a red card, so he's not going to be able to play. It looks like we're going to put Gatti in for this match. Shouldn't be that bad. We still should go through. Should is the key word. In the second leg, it is a 2-1 loss. We are officially eliminated from the UCL. Way too early for me. Very disappointing. But it happens. Galatasaray's through, and we are eliminated. Alright, I stopped one game before the end of the season because it is against Roma, and I have to show the standings. We are in first place on 86 points, and Roma is in second with 85. So basically, the winner of this game is going to win the Serie A. It all comes down to this game, so I wanted to stop and show that. And I know technically Inter could take over both of us if we tie or something, but I don't want to think about that. I'm going to say it's all or nothing. We win the title if we win this game. Looks like Contral has a red card, so we're going to put in Schmidt instead of him. But if we win this game, we win the Scudetto. That would be great. It is going to be a 2-2 draw. I mean, we're still ahead of them. Let's see how Inter did. Going over to the standings. No! 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 Why am I in the Premier League? No, what my competitions. Serie A. We finished in second. No, on the final day we blew it. Inter take the Serie A on first. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow, our goal difference was better. Is that how they do it in Serie A? Do they do head-to-head? We must have lost. They must do head-to-head instead of goal difference. That is so unlucky. Both of us on 87 points. Roma 86, Atalanta on 84. We miss out on the title, but we do get Champions League next year. That is our goal. And after our elimination this year in the Champions League, very poor performance, we needed to get it for next season. So I can't be too mad. We miss out on a trophy, but it's not the end of the world. But in the Coppa Italia, we did end up winning that competition 2-1 over Inter Milan in the final. So we did win a trophy this season. And having a look at some of our player stats, Jonathan David was our lead goal scorer. He had 30 goals and 4 assists. That is pretty good. Yildiz, 24 goals and 10 assists. He is up to an 88 overall, but sadly, he's probably going to be gone next season. Contral had 14 and 6, Thuram had 10 and 7 from midfield, and Klopp Miners from the bench had 9 and 10. That's pretty solid. And as it stands, Yildiz is an 88 overall and our highest overall player, but we are not into the next season yet, so someone like Contral could catch up to him, but most likely we are going to be losing Yildiz, which sucks, but that is the challenge after all. So let's get into Season 3. Here we are for Season 3, and before we do anything else, let's check out who our highest overall player is. It is Yildiz. Di Gregorio is up to an 87. That's kind of impressive, but Yildiz, 88 overall, only 22 years old. He is unfortunately the one that is being released, so we have to say goodbye to a very good player. So this is now the team without Yildiz. It's pretty solid. We're growing at a pretty nice rate all around. I'm going to put Kes Smith in the starting 11. It's his time to shine, I think. But in terms of upgrades, I really am struggling to figure out what I want to do. I could bring in another center back, and this back line could be really, really good. But I do have a lot of random center backs on the bench here that I could sell off to make that happen. So that is definitely an option. Jonathan David has gone up to an 85, but he is 27 years old, and I think he is at his peak right now, so I wouldn't mind selling him or maybe Vlahovic instead and getting just an insane striker to replace him. So that's currently what I'm thinking about. And for the budget this season, we have 139 million to work with, so we could bring in some really big names this season. Potentially even get this challenge done in this season. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And we have our first departure out of the club. It is going to be our backup striker, Vlahovic. He is going to free up a lot of money for us to potentially bring in another striker, but also help us for other positions as well. He is out of the club. We sold him to Frankfurt for 71 million. As well as Moretti went to Freiburg for 15.5 million. And another departure, one of the center backs, Cabal. He's headed to Sunderland for 18.5 million. And another departure, it is another center back. Lloyd Kelly is out of the club. He's headed off to Roma for 17.3 million. So after all of those departures, we are sitting at $267 million in the bank account. And as I said earlier, we're looking for another center back, and then I want to deal with this attack. Kes Smith is currently starting. We do have Klopp Miners, who is an 83, but a huge attacking midfielder would be pretty nice. And then another striker, but we're going to have to see what the budget looks like, because if we're going to get a striker, it needs to be someone good that is going to beat out David and get minutes. But let's first focus on this center back spot. And we have brought in a brand new center back for the club. It is the Uruguayan center back, Ronald Araujo, not from Barcelona in this save. We got him from RB Leipzig. He's going to be a great piece to finish off this back line. He's going to be a great addition, and we got him on a pretty good deal. We signed him from RB Leipzig for 74 million. And I have the second transfer of Season 3. I decided to go in for a brand new attacking midfielder. Someone that can take over the job right now and still grow into something special. We are going to be signing the Argentinian Nico Paz from Como. He is currently 85 overall, but he's so young. He's going to be an absolutely amazing signing for the club. And hopefully we don't lose him anytime soon. We got him from Como for 75 million. So Ronald Araujo and Nico Paz are now into the starting 11, and this is what it looks like. Jonathan David is still up top. It's very well-rounded. I'm really liking how it looks. But we do still have 97 million in the budget, which we could use, but I really don't know what to use it on. And it looks like Jonathan David still has a little bit left in the tank, and only 9 weeks until going up to an 86. So we could probably just keep him as the starting striker and just use that money to get a backup striker, because Costalas is clearly not growing fast enough at all. He's only a 76 out on loan. So I wouldn't mind bringing in a backup striker to Jonathan David, someone who's just a little younger. And we have gone out and signed a backup striker for Jonathan David. We are going to be signing the Frenchman Eli Jr. Krupi from Bournemouth. He is currently 80 overall, but only 21 years old, so he's got plenty of time to develop. I decided I wanted someone younger. They didn't have to be starting quality right now. We're going to keep Jonathan David as the starting striker, so we've gone for Junior Krupi, and we signed him from Bournemouth for $43 million. So I think that's pretty much all the business I want to do this season. The team is looking good. We are really balanced. Everyone is right around the 84 to 86 range. I really like that. That is the key to this challenge, to be really balanced and have a lot of depth. Our bench is also looking really good. I really like this team. And we have made it to deadline day, and we are going to skip right on through. There was no more business for the rest of the window. And we have made it to January 1st. Let's have a look at the Serie A table. We are sitting in second place, well, tied first place with AC Milan, in a very tight table. There's 3 points separating first place AC Milan and sixth place AS Roma. It is quite the competition here at the top, but we're in second right now. Pretty solid, not too bad. In the Champions League, we are sitting in 18th place in the league phase, a little worse than last year, but there's still 2 games remaining, so we could turn it around by the end of it. I'm not too worried about going through. We just need to win a couple more games. We do have $52 million in the budget, but I don't think I'm going to spend it. I really don't have anything of need to spend. I kind of want to save that money for next year if that happens. And I just wanted to point out how many games there is in January for us. It's actually insane. Just look at how many games we're playing in January. It's a very busy month for us. And luckily, these Champions League games look pretty easy, so we should be flying through to the rest of the UCL into the round of 16, hopefully. But with not really any business planned, I'm going to fly through January and get to deadline day. And after an insane month of January, look at those, no losses on the month. We are at deadline day, and no business is done. We are jumping straight through deadline day, and we're going to have a look at the Champions League phase. At the end of that, we finished in 14th, so we are going to have to go through the playoff round. That isn't that bad. Would have liked automatic into round of 16, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And here we are for the playoff round. It is a pretty difficult opponent, Inter Milan, fellow Serie A side, but I'm really liking the team. I'm coming in this with confidence. And in the first leg, it is going to be a 2-2 draw. Here we are for the second leg against Inter Milan, a win, and we are in to the round of 16. Here we go. It is a 2-0 victory. We are through 4-2 on aggregates. Nico Paz and Jonathan David getting the 2 goals. That is amazing. That is a big opponent knocked out, and we are through to the round of 16. And we have made it to the round of 16, and we are once again up against Galatasaray. So we're just going to go straight in, quick sim it. The first leg is a 1-0 loss. Are you serious? And here we are. The second leg against Galatasaray, we are down 1-0. We need a victory here to go through. In the second leg, it is going to be a 3-0 victory. There we go. That's what you love to see. We are through 3-1 on aggregate. What a performance from the boys. Jonathan David with a brace and Nico Paz in the 89th minute to seal the deal. That is amazing. We are through to the quarterfinals. And here we are for the quarterfinals. We are up against Bayer Leipzig. First leg, we have a red card for Cambiaso, which is fine. We are going to put in Rodriguez in his place. That is completely fine by me. And for the first leg, It is going to be a 2-0 victory. That is an amazing start. That is exactly what we wanted. Second leg against Bayer Leverkusen. Here we go. We're already up 2. We don't need anything special. We could lose by a goal and still go through. Here we go. Second leg. It is a 2-1 victory. 4-1 on aggregate against Leverkusen. We are through to the semi-finals. Contral, Jonathan David on the score sheet. Let's go. We're through to the semi-finals. And here we are for the semi-finals. We are up against Manchester City. This is probably our toughest opponent yet, but here we go. The first leg is a 3-1 victory. That is the best start you could have against a very good team. 2-goal advantage going into the second leg. That is absolutely amazing. Jonathan David with a brace, Nico Paz as well. Let's go. That is amazing. And here we are for the second leg against Manchester City. All we need to do is hold our league, and we are into the Champions League final. We are this close to completing the challenge. Here we go. It is going to be a 2-1 victory against ManCity. We are through 5-2 on aggregate. We are into the UCL final. Let's go. And it looks like our UCL final opponent is going to be FC Barcelona. What a matchup this is going to be. But before we get into the UCL final, we have made it to the end of the season, so let's check out how we did in the other competitions. In the Serie, we ended up winning. We won the Scudetto, 88 points compared to Milan's 83. That is another Serie trophy on the books. That is amazing. Napoli finished in 3rd, Lazio in 4th. We also ended up winning the Supercoppa against Roma 4-2 on penalties. And we made it all the way to the final of the Coppa Italia, but lost to Lazio, unfortunately 3-2 in the final. And let's have a quick look at the stats this season. Jonathan David had 45 goals and 4 assists on the season. And not to mention Nico Paz, 33 and 16. What a debut season for him. Klopp Miners off the bench has been really good. 12 and 15 for him. Contral 10 and 10. That's pretty solid. But an absolutely amazing performance for our 2 guys up top here. That is amazing. The UCL final, we have made it. Shout out to all the players that we lost along the way. I just want to quickly check what they are at, how they're doing. He's a 93 overall playing for Liverpool. Oh my gosh, what a player he became. But we made the UCL without him. But what a player. Oh my god. 93 overall. His stats look crazy too. We don't need him. Where's Liverpool? I don't see them in the final. So this is the official final squad going into the Champions League final. Contral is our highest overall player at an 89. The back line looks really good. All 87, and Zabarni is an 88. Di Gregorio is an 88. He went up way more than I ever thought he would. As well as people like Cambiasso. I thought he would be gone at this time. As well as Thuram, he's up to an 87. Overall, this team looks really good. I really like what we turned it into. And it was a pretty fun challenge. I really enjoyed doing it. We got a full strength starting 11. Let's get into the Champions League final.
Like you, be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one. Only one. I was an ordinary boy until I broke the rules. My life destroyed. Life destroyed.
And here we are, the Champions League final kickoff. Here we go. Nico Paz kind of through here. The defenders are not closing him. What are they doing? He's got a free shot. We are 6 minutes in and he's already put one on the board. What was the defenders doing? They just let him run straight through the middle of them. What a start to the Champions League final. We are already up 1-0 against Barcelona. He's not going to miss from there. 1-0 Juventus. Wow, Kai Havertz with a powerful header there. Oh, good ball. Carry it. Cut back. Thuram. Frothholt. Cambiasso. Jonathan David! Another finish. I don't know how that didn't get blocked. Jonathan David puts it in the back of the net. Another goal for us. We are up 2-0 against Barcelona very early on. Jonathan David finds Cambiasso. Can we sweat it? Not the guy I was passing to. Picked up from Garcia. Wow, that was so quick. I didn't even know what happened. Kai Havertz puts one on the board for Barcelona. Just some good play into the box. Ball goes to the Legaue and he just lends it off. And Kai Havertz is not going to miss from there. Barcelona have made this a 1-goal game. Cambiasso has it out wide. I'm going to whip this in. Jonathan David has some space, and he finishes. I don't know what the defender was doing, but Jonathan David had a free header, and he's not going to miss from there. Way too easy from him. Great finish from Jonathan David. Sneaks it in near post against Garcia, and we are right back on top by 2. Nico Paz over to Cambiasso. Finds Nico Paz. He is onside. Can he find the sweat? No. It is nicely closing out from Barcelona. We do have a corner here, though, that we can't get on the end, but it falls to us. Contrao has a shot, and he finishes it. With 42 minutes on the clock, we go up another goal. What a finish from Francisco Conceição. We are up 4-1 in the first half against Barcelona, right into the top left corner. And that is the official halftime whistle. We are up 4-1 going into halftime. Second half against Barcelona, all we got to do is hold out. Finds Thuram. Froholt. Jonathan David can't get past Marquinhos. All right, I'm going to make some subs here. The midfield seems a little tired, so I'm going to sub in Klopp Miners for Thuram. And I'm also going to bring on Rodriguez. Nope, we're going to bring on Kes Smith for Nico Paz because Nico Paz is very tired. And we're going to leave it like this for now. Let's do that. Whoa, Lamall's got some space. What a save from Gregorio. Yes, get that out. Nice. What a save. I thought that was a for sure goal, not going to lie. And now we have a kind of a counterattack here. Nico Paz is in the box. Oh, he's headed it. Cambiasso's still got it, though. Finesse. What a save from Garcia. But the ball is still in play. Oh, we lose it. Wow, how did we not score there? Sub still has not happened, by the way. And it's been like 10 minutes in game. At this rate, might not even get off. Oh, Jonathan David, you're through. He's not going to finish. We get another one on the board. It is domination of Barcelona. 5-1. Jonathan David, another goal for him. What a performance. Lamall's got some space. Oh, he finds inside. Good save. Di Gregorio keeps another one out from Kai Havertz. Whoa, they're working it nicely. Pedri doing some dancing. De Jong finds Gavi in the box. Another save from Di Gregorio. I don't think he was ever going to score from that angle, but a great save nonetheless. Still dancing. Finds Lamal. Blow the whistle, ref. Gavi. De Jong, blow the whistle. Pedri. That's Shirley. Blow the whistle, ref. And there it is. The final whistle in the UCL final. We have officially done it. Juventus are champions of Europe. The challenge is complete, releasing our best player every season. And I would just like to say, as we are raising the trophy, thank you so much for watching. If you are still watching at this point, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much for you sticking around this long. More content coming very, very soon. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe down below if you haven't already. So Juventus lift the Champions League trophy and are champions of Europe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.